Thank you for joining us. Welcome to LumioseStation.
Hello friends, TheOneIntegral here, and welcome back to another episode of Pokémon DataDex. Today we're going to be looking at Reuniclus, the multiplying Pokémon. Reuniclus is a psychic type, and it's number 579 in the National Pokédex, and also features in the Coastal Kalos Pokédex as number 117. Reuniclus is 3 foot 3 inches tall or 1 meter tall, and weighs 44.3 pounds or 21 kilograms. Reuniclus is only in one egg group, being the amorphous group, and its gender ratio is 50-50, so it's an equal chance to get a male or a female. A Solosis will evolve into a Duosion at level 32, and then a Duosion will eventually evolve into a Reuniclus starting at level 41. Taking a quick look at Reuniclus' base stats, we can see it has very high health points and special attack stats, however it has only medium attack, defense and special defense stats, and has an absolutely terrible speed stat. First off, if we check out Reuniclus' typing, we can see being a pure psychic type, it only resists 2 other types, being fighting and psychic type respectively. It's weak to bug, ghost and dark types, and everything else does neutral damage. Being a pure psychic, it doesn't really have any sort of extra resistances or weaknesses. It's a base Pokemon, there's not really much to say here. It does have more weaknesses and resistances though, so that might be something to bear in mind. The abilities that Reuniclus can have are, first, Overcoat, which protects the Pokemon from things like sand, hail and powder. It can also have the ability Magic Guard, which means the Pokemon only takes the damage from attacks, rather than stuff like weather, poison, other things like that. Reuniclus' hidden ability is Regenerator, which restores a little bit of health points when it's withdrawn from a battle. Looking at a few of Reuniclus' moves here, starting off looking at the moves it learns by leveling up, or some of the moves it learns by leveling up rather. At level 14 it will learn Hidden Power, which is a normal type move, and however it's not actually a normal type, it's dependent on the Pokemon's IVs. Then level 24 it learns Recover, which is going to be used in one of the Wi-Fi battling setups I will show you in a second. It then learns Psyshock at level 25, which is quite a strong psychic type move, and then after that it learns Psychic at level 39, a slightly stronger psychic type move. I'm also going to look at some of the moves it can learn through the use of TMs. To start off, Calm Mind, which is TM04, which raises the user's special attack and special defense stats, which will be very helpful looking at a setup in a second. And it can also learn Shadow Ball through TM30, which is a ghost type move, which again is going to be very helpful in the setup in a second. Then it can also learn Focus Blast, which is TM52, which is a fighting type move, which is actually special. And then finally it can learn Trick Room with TM92, which is a psychic type status move, which is going to be very helpful and very sort of integral to the first of our Wi-Fi setups. Moving on to this Wi-Fi setup now, here we are with the moveset first, which is obviously Trick Room as I've just said, then Psychic or Psyshock, Focus Blast, and then Shadow Ball or Hidden Power. The ability you want for this setup is Magic Guard, the nature being Quiet, the held item being a Life Orb, and EVs, you want to put maximum special attack EVs, and about 3/4 of the rest in health points, and then the final quarter in defense. Okay, so if we start looking at the set with the moves, here we have Trick Room, Psychic and Psyshock, Focus Blast, Shadow Ball or Hidden Power. Now starting off with Trick Room, this is very important for this setup, seeing as you can see with the EVs we have a fairly offensive setup being maximum special attack and then a bit in health points and defense. So Trick Room is really for you to get in and set up so you can have that priority. For example, if you remember that the base stat for Reuniclus is only 30, which means it's a very slow Pokemon, which means it's going to be outsped by a lot of things. So Trick Room will allow you to be one of the fastest Pokemon on the field, which will allow you to actually get offensive moves in there. Then Psychic or Psyshock. This is really dependent on your own choice. Psychic is the more powerful move, but Psyshock does use the opponent's defense stat rather than their special defense stat. So it just really depends what Pokemon you think you're going to be going up against. Then Focus Blast is a good fighting type move against dark type and steel type Pokemon. It's a good counter if you get switched in, if they switch into a dark type Pokemon. And then finally Shadow Ball or Hidden Power. Shadow Ball is really the preferred choice here, since it can help you get against other psychic types and ghost types. However, Hidden Power is also helpful depending on what it is obviously, but if you're going for the best IVs possible, then Hidden Power isn't really going to be the top of your list. The ability here being Magic Guard, which is the one that protects it from sort of other stuff that's not, you know, a direct attack. It's better than Overcoat in some ways, so it can help you out there. Obviously, if you get toxic, won't matter to you, stuff like that. Now the nature here is Quiet, which actually increases the special attack stat and lowers the speed stat. As we've already mentioned already, we're going to be using Trick Room, so speed is, well, it's as low as possible really, because we want to just get in there and set a Trick Room up. And obviously the raise its special attack is because it's an offensive setup, so that's going to be very helpful there. The held item here is a Life Orb, which, if you didn't know, whenever you, well, it boosts the power of your moves, but then whenever you actually attack, you lose some of your health points. So it's not too big of an issue really, but obviously since we're going for a very offensive setup, we're looking to do as much damage as possible here, so the Life Orb really is worth the cost. As I mentioned already with the EVs, we're putting maximum special attack and then the rest between health points and defense. Maximum special attack obviously because it's an offensive setup, and then health points and defense, you want to put quite a few in health points since that's what Reuniclus has a high base stat in. However, the defense is also helpful against, well, just defending against physical moves. If we then look at the second Wi-Fi battling setup, which is more focused to actually staying in the battle, sort of hanging around for a while, taking the hits and stuff like that, the moves you want to use are Calm Mind, Recover, Psychic or Psyshock, and then Focus Blast. The ability you want is Magic Guard, the nature being Bold, and the held item being a Life Orb or Leftovers. EVs you want to put maximum in health points, maximum in defense, and then just a few more in special defense. So if we look at this moveset or setup here again, we have Calm Mind, Recover, Psychic and Psyshock, or Focus Blast, or, well, you know what I mean. Calm Mind is obviously going to raise your special attack and special defense, which combined with a Recover can actually help you stay in the battle for a bit longer, raise your stats up, and actually help you sort of, you know, last a bit longer. Psychic or Psyshock being your main attacking moves, as well as Focus Blast, which again will help you take out Dark types and other Pokemon like Steel types. Ability again is Magic Guard, since that's probably the best ability to have on a Reuniclus. And the nature this time is actually a Bold nature, which helps out because you're putting maximum EVs in defense, and the Bold nature increases your defense and decreases your attack. And obviously since we're not actually using physically attacking moves, we don't actually mind that we're reducing the attack at all. So that's alright there. And the held item here is the Life Orb or Leftovers. Again, the Life Orb helps power up the moves, which could be worth it, especially when combined with Recover, which means you can get your health points back. Or Leftovers just to help with a bit of health point restoration every turn. Again, with the EVs, we have maximum health points and defense, which helps us to be a very bulky Pokemon in battle, and then just throwing the rest in special defense just to give us a bit more of a boost there. So guys, I think that's going to be it for this episode of Pokemon DataDex. I hope it was very helpful to you. You can leave some suggestions for what Pokemon to cover in future videos and episodes in the comments below, and remember to check out the other videos from LumioseStation conductors and directors on the channel as usual. I'll be seeing you next time guys, thank you for watching, goodbye.